Let me introduce all of you to Oniro, a brand new action RPG mobile game that just launched this week that players are saying is the Diablo Immortal killer. What I want to do inside of this video is give you my review and introduction to the game, let you know if I think it actually holds merit, that this game could be potentially better than Diablo Immortal, and just let you understand what the game has to offer as I share with you my experience. Now, when I first started playing the game, I found it quite interesting because it felt like something that I had played before. It had a very familiar feeling, and then I realized what I knew it from. The game reminded me very much of Anima ARPG, a game that I played a bunch of when I was preparing for Diablo Immortal to launch. So when I came on over to the App Store page, noticing that it had 100,000 downloads, this must have been downloaded and available earlier on Google Play and other regions, I realized that it's made by Rediv, which is the same creator of Anima ARPG. So it's actually, it makes sense that the game has a similar feel. There's also a trailer on here that gives some more context about the game that we'll look at deeper inside of this video. Now, one of the first things that I noticed when I started playing is that gameplay actually doesn't feel like Diablo Immortal, and you have to spend and pay a little bit more attention to each enemy that you encounter, because if you don't, well, they can take you down. In Diablo Immortal, you could run through enemies and just basically melt them as you go. At least that's what it gets to as you get more towards the end game. And transparently, I'm probably an hour and a half or so into Oniro, so things very well could change. But I wasn't going to drop 100 hours into this game before doing a review, so I wanted to give you my impressions and just a first look, since the game is brand new. You have to think about the encounters that you dive into. You can't just go in blazing your sword or other classes that we'll get into and hope that everything just dies, because at the end, you'll be the one that dies. Speaking of death, you do have a health globe that has a reset right here, and it kind of gives me the feel of an old school action RPG. Speaking of old school action RPGs, that is definitely the feel that you get when you're playing this. It does not feel like something that's from a current time. It definitely still has that more of a Diablo 2 style gameplay, which is similar to what we had in Anima ARPG as well. With that said, we're not here slaying demons, or, well, maybe we are, but we're not a demon slayer. We're a samurai. As you can see, I have a samurai sword that I'm wielding, and I am a samurai character. So it's much more Asian inspired, at least with the character that you're playing, which particularly I'm not a fan of. I'd much rather be a barbarian or a wizard or something along those lines than a samurai, but that's my personal opinion, and yours may be different. Now, something cool is when you do log into the game, you could have multiple characters and more that can be unlocked, and there's also different difficulties that do unlock as well over time. But when you're creating your hero, as you can see, more Asian inspired than you may have thought when you first were considering downloading the game, you choose between a male or a female character. There's not actually classes that you choose. That's because your character is actually developed over time as you progress throughout the game. As you can see right now, this is my character screen, which gives a pretty in-depth look at all of the statistics that we have for my class. And as you can see, I can upgrade different elements of the character as we go, and you could kind of lean into the type of class that you're looking to play as you do these. So me playing as a melee style character, I want to go a bunch into strength right here, because that's going to be very good for my character class. I want a little bit of agility. Vitality, we want to be able to get that as well. I never go with luck, so we'll go with one more. We're going to accept those, and that boosts our stats. You gain these points as you progress throughout the game and take down more and more enemies. And as you can see, I'm currently playing as a fighter, so the stats are here, and it seems like there's more unlockable class points that you can attain as you progress through the game at certain levels. And if you're new to action RPGs and you don't know what all these stats mean, there's actually really nice statistics info giving you details of all of the different terminology that you'll find inside of the game, so I actually quite like that. And in addition to this, we have your ability tree. Your ability tree is something that's going to remind you of an Undecember or a Path of Exile, just a bit more watered down. And this is where you can choose the abilities and equip the ones that you want to equip. You can just unlock new ones, and then you can drag them into the correct spot on your attack bar. For example, I'm currently using Battle Shout, which I don't love, but we just unlocked Charge, which is a barbarian or fighter style attack. All I do is click on it and drag it over and it moves itself right on in, and now I could use that new skill when I'm in battle. These skills all themselves can be both unlocked and then leveled up, and as you progress, you kind of progress in a fashion that is going to be for the class that you're playing. So Sweep being one of my favorite attacks because it does damage in a large fanned out range in front of me, I want to level that one up. I'm going to level it up a couple of times if I can. Max leveled. Now Hook and Chains is the one I kind of want to get to because it's going to pop out chains, pull enemies in towards me, much like we know from Barbarians. That's the one I'm going to be looking to level up next. But for now, we have a good level 3 out of 20 Sweep. We have a level 1 out of 20 Charge, and we are looking at an Empowered Strike level 2 out of 20, which is just a stronger strike. Notice I am going in the direction and building out a Barbarian class, essentially. And in the menu HUD, you have a bunch of other things. Your character, abilities, you have the map that you could look at, and actually the map is a nice feature because you can actually overlay the map as you're on it, so you can really know where you are. That's a feature that's in old school ARPGs that we don't see as much, and I actually like it. There's even a bestiary showing you all of the different enemies that you encounter, giving you a little bit of lore about all of them. I don't see any reward system inside of here yet, but it is nice that the lore is there for those of you that love that. You have your diary, which gives you your quests and keeps you on task for everything that you should be doing to progress in the game. You have your options, you have your mail, and of course, monetization. Let's take a look at that really quickly. There is a wheel that you could spin right here to give you different rewards. You could watch a video to get additional spins, or you can use your gems to get additional spins. Look like I just got myself some gold right there, and every day you get a free spin of the wheel. So I don't mind the wheel spin, and I actually don't mind the watch a video option, which is gonna take you to an advertisement because it's not spammy. Right? It gives me the option. If I want to watch that video, sure. But if I don't want to, it's not throwing it in my face. It's hidden, tucked away in the fortune wheel, and I think that's really good. So it's great for free-to-play players that maybe want to take a minute and watch a stupid ad, but then they can get an additional spin of the wheel. But then we can enter the store. Okay, inside of the store, you have different packs that you can get, different currencies that you can encounter. Notice 60 of these gems are 99 cents, so it was 5 gems to spin the wheel, at least for the first spin. Not sure if that gets more expensive with time. You have bundles for different materials for upgrading and progressing. You have gem bundles inside of the game as well, but notice here, you can actually buy them with the gems as well. You have additional bundles for other items, the Demon Phalanx, and used to add sockets to your items, consumables. You have pets, which I think are pretty cool that the game has pets, and you have different cosmetics such as wings and things like that. Now the welcome bundles get enchanted weapon that scales with your character's level and becomes stronger. People talk about pay to win, and is this game pay to win? And it's been said that it's not, but the question is, if you buy one of these packs and I get myself the Path of the Blade or the Path of the Bow or the Path of the Magic, is this weapon better than any weapon that players can get just from playing free to play? If these weapons are enhanced and give people a stronger character than those that don't have it, well, then maybe it is having some kind of a pay to win mechanic. Same things goes with the gems. If you can pay to progress your gems to get stronger, that is considered pay to win. But really, does it matter if there's no PvP inside of the game and you're not actually going against others, or if there's no leaderboards for you to compete against? And looking at our menu, at least at this point in time, there is no PvP that I've encountered yet. Maybe there's more in the end game, we'll have to see. And there are no leaderboards. It is more of a PvE experience, at least as far as I've seen so far. So let's answer a few questions. First, do I enjoy the game? And the answer is yes. It's a nice experience to an action RPG, bringing you back into a world of one that is a little bit more old school. Enemies are a little bit more difficult to take down, bosses take a lot more of a beating, and you are a little bit more fragile than in some of the more traditional, newer school action RPGs. The graphics are decent inside of the game. It's a mobile game, in fact, and it does a decent job. Is it the best in class as far as graphics go? The answer is no, not in my opinion. But at the same time, I do think that this game has merit, and I think it's worth trying. It's actually quite fun to play. But I think the larger question here is Oniro a Diablo Immortal killer? Is it a better game than Diablo Immortal? And the short answer here is, in my opinion, no. I don't think that the game has as much depth as Diablo Immortal. I don't think that the game is as robust. I just don't think it's as good of a game. With that said, I do think this one is quite fun. If you liked a game like Animus, then this is one that you would probably enjoy as well. It's just a little bit different, a little bit newer school, at least, than Animus was. And I said I would share the trailer with you guys to give you maybe a bit more of an in-depth look about what endgame could look like as you progress through. Obviously, as you would expect, you're going to unlock new skills through the progression system, which I showed you guys, and you're going to get cooler looking attacks, which this trailer is going to show you. Look, hundreds of different things that they're talking about that you can unlock for your character, which means they have a lot of different gear to enhance how you play. Also, a multi-class skill tree, which as I was showing it to you guys, it was really focused on the fighter, but that is where the classes come into play here. You actually change your classes inside of the game based off of how you manipulate the skill tree, much like many players know and understand from Undecember, which is actually a mechanic that I like, that you're not locked into a certain particular character class. So I think that one is also pretty cool. But as you can see, you're gonna unlock more fun, let's say, attack styles as you progress through the game, which I think is really cool and natural for the progression. So let me know if Oniro is something that you guys are interested in trying. It's available on the Google Play Store as well as in the iOS shop. And this is not a sponsored video. I just genuinely wanted to check out another action RPG and compare it to the one that I love most, which is Diablo Immortal. Let me know your thoughts down below. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you back in tomorrow's video.